To our top story, Prime Minister Kamala Persad expresses deep concern for the health and welfare of environmental activist Dr. Wayne Kublal Singh. In a media release, the Prime Minister says it is most unfortunate that Dr. Kublal Singh has chosen to pursue such an action. She says she regards the matter as she would anyone who puts themselves in harm's way. Mrs. Persad says she has asked Minister of the People, Dr. Glenn Ramadas Singh, to have trained members of staff from social services visit Dr. Kublal Singh in the hope that in his own interest he can be reasoned with and given some measure of solace. The Prime Minister has also requested Minister of Health Dr. Fuad Khan, who is also a medical doctor, to pay Dr. Kublal Singh a visit and to place an ambulance on standby if ever necessary at any time. Well, Minister of Housing Dr. Rudal Munilal says the actions of environmental activist Dr. Wayne Kublal Singh are those of a spoiled child. He was speaking to the media this morning when he commented on Dr. Kublal Singh's hunger strike, saying that Dr. Kublal Singh is putting his health in jeopardy unnecessarily. Vanessa Haynes reports.
He's behaving like a spoiled child. You ever have a child and if they don't get to go out and play or they don't get to go to the park, they stop, they don't want to eat, they don't want to have breakfast. That is not the conduct that you have in public policy. So, I mean, he's not prepared to hear his mother and father, but he's prepared to hear Mrs. Persad Bissessa, who is somebody else's mother and father. So I think he has to cut it out. I mean, he just has to grow up.
Minister of Housing Dr. Rudal Munilal says he believes that Dr. Kublal Singh is being irrational and also not telling the truth to the media. He says while he was in opposition and the head of the Reroute movement in 2005, he led about 200 residents to protest the Trinto plan in Trin City concerning the highway. However, the group, he says, had accepted that the former PNM government had the right to acquire the lands and build the highway. He says he had mobilized a team of lawyers, which included the current Minister of Legal Affairs Prakash Ramadas, to help the residents. He says it is wrong for Dr. Kublal Singh to say now that the highway would never have been built. Minister Munilal also refutes claims by Dr. Kublal Singh that the Prime Minister had promised in a meeting with him 8 months ago that the highway was not going to be built. He says this was false, as the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure had a meeting with Dr. Kublal Singh, which he walked out of. The minister is urging Dr. Kublal Singh to stop the hunger strike.
I am appealing to him. I mean, I know him and his family very well for many years. I am appealing to him that public policy cannot be determined this way. You can't be in a position where if something doesn't go your way, you stop eating. It doesn't work like that. Then next week, next month, somebody pops up and says, look, we want early election. And if you don't call early election, we stop eating. It doesn't work like that. So that Mr. Kublal Singh, we really appeal to him to be rational.
Dr. Kublal Singh entered day 5 of his hunger strike today outside the office of the Prime Minister in St. Clair. He described the minister's statements as irrelevant. He said Dr. Munilal, as the former head of the Reroute movement, while in opposition, had agreed that the highway should not be built.
He was the one who headed this group. He was the one who took the people and protested in front of Trinto plan. He was the one who stood up in Parliament and gave a statement in Hansard against this highway. He was the one who brought on Prakash Ramadas and a team of lawyers to protest against this highway and try to file a high court motion against this highway. So he has become an irrelevance.
Dr. Kublal Singh said he will not stop until the Prime Minister addresses him directly. Vanessa Haynes, C News.